right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul, and thank you for tuning in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh alongside Tim Benz, and give us a call tonight, 412-575-2600. We're talking about the battle in Bucco's Bucco Fever in full force tonight. The Pirates winning out in San Diego 6-1, and it's been a one-man show pretty much out there. Josh Bell continues to hit out there and continues to hit. He had a 15-game hitting streak, then took basically a night off, was hitless, and then now 2 games and hit 2 home runs. It's his 3rd multi-home run game in a month, and that hasn't been done since 1999 and Brian Giles. The other interesting thing to point out with tonight's game, they used an opener for the first time, and it's Montana DiRappo. He started the first 2 innings. He was gonna start the first inning, see how he did, and then move on to the second inning. He made it through 2. He could have made it through 3, but he pitched 2 scoreless innings, only giving up 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. So that was a success. And then Stephen Brault came in. So, looks like the Pirates are doing some damage out in San Diego, Tim, and you got to like what you see out there. It's especially with Josh Bell, is basically, I think, carrying this team right now and has a ton of injuries that we've talked about endlessly for the last couple weeks.
Well, Bell has been absolutely unbelievable. I can't get over how good he's been, especially after the criticism that he took earlier in the season from unnamed scouts, and I bet they're feeling pretty bad about those tweets or comments that were sent out. My opinion on Bell is he's at least an all-star right now and could be in the MVP running if he keeps up this pace. He would be, obviously, if he did. I don't anticipate that. That's asking too much to anticipate that he can do throughout the course of the season what he's done now up until Memorial Day. This will probably be the hottest stretch of his year, but I don't know how you feel about it, Rich. If he's a 292 guy with 30 homers and 100 RBI roughly by the end of the season after this start, I mean, you can't complain about that.
No, not at all. He has 43 RBI right now. That leads the National League, and he didn't have 43 RBI until July 13th of last year. I'm obviously happy with what he's doing, and this is what the Pirates thought he would do, Tim. He didn't do it last year, I guess kind of the sophomore slump, if you want to call it, but 14 home runs so far. Not bad. And I think they were saying on the broadcast tonight that only Yelich has more feet with home runs than
total distance.
Distance.
I can't believe he does.
Bell.
I can't believe he does because if you look at all the monster shots that Bell has, I think it's 5 or 6 now, over 400, over 425, I believe. In fact, every ball that he hits, right side, left side, it's not even leaving the park. It's leaving the park with huge exit velocity and plenty of room to spare. And when I look at Bell right now, I'm glad you referenced the sophomore slump thing, because one thing that I've noticed about his game again this year is that plate coverage that we saw so much of, that dynamic to his swing, covering so much of the plate, making it so hard for pitchers to find a spot. That's what's jumped back to me, is to see him cover the plate like he did in his first year. And that at-bat, that second at-bat, the home run didn't go as far. It looked like they were trying to intentionally walk him.
Yeah.
And then he swung at 2 pitches out of the strike zone, forced a bad pitcher to groove a ball on what would have been strike 3 or a walk, and he just decided to jump on it and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, 379. I think it was 827 total.
And he sort of adjusted his swing on that. He got a 397 on a swing where he didn't power all the way through. He waited and caught up to the pitch, elevated it, and got it out.
Well, you noticed the difference in his physique this year in spring training, and you've been to the Pirates locker room. He looks like he should be playing linebacker for the Steelers.
Oh, I always kind of thought that, but yeah.
He definitely put on some weight, and I think if you go back to last year, I don't know what you think, I think mentally he was so focused on trying to not screw up things at first base that I think it caused him to struggle at the plate.
Yeah, and he's not over the fielding aspect by a long shot, but that's okay. I still think that will come, and you can live with a first baseman who doesn't throw if the first baseman hits home runs the way that Josh Bell does. And the other big story today was the opener.
Yeah.
They started with an opener, kind of like Tampa's been doing. A couple teams have tinkered with it here and there, and Rich, my opinion is this: if you don't need a jockey to ride a horse in the Preakness, you don't need a starter in Major League Baseball. Yeah,
you're right about that. I was saying that last year on this show. When they were struggling to figure out who's going to be their 5th starter, maybe throw in Brault for a couple innings and then come back with whoever. I don't think it's a bad idea if you just want to keep mixing in your bullpen guys to start games and go through.
I'm not a fan of it, to be honest.
You're not?
No, I don't like the fifth starter concept because you're going into the game admitting defeat, basically. You're going into the game saying that no matter how well our opener does, he's coming out after a certain number of pitches, and you're going, in all likelihood, as the Pirates did today, from the second inning, well, the third inning on, with Steven Brault, a guy you didn't trust to get you through 5 anyway. I mean, there's a certain self-defeating prophecy that goes along with the opener. You're drawing a very thin line between fifth starter and opener. Just call him a starter and see how far he goes before you have to pull him out.
Well, I see what they're doing here. I mean, I kind of like it. Then you put in Steven Brault, or then the next time you could have Kingham, Liriano. You have a couple guys that you can maybe get 3 innings.
I get
Chad Kuhl was a prime example of he could only get through the lineup one time, and then he would get shelled. He's a perfect opener.
If Montana DeRosa is pitching pretty well, then why have you artificially capped in your head?
And he was pitching well today.
To go with a guy you didn't trust starting in the first place. That's the problem I've got with the concept of the opener.
Well, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call about the opener or Josh Bell, 412.
Or jockeyless horses.
Or the Preakness. 412-575-2600 is the number. Or you can tweet us at Tim Benz or at Richie Walsh. Back in a couple minutes.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.